Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV with the Rude Man. In the last episode, we went to our headquarters in Waking Sands, and there were dead bodies everywhere. We had been attacked, and I found one of the little sylphs was still alive and gave me a message to seek sanctuary at this church. And then it passed away, or she passed away, or he passed away. So here we are. We're going to seek sanctuary here. Is something troubling you, son? You have the look of one who has endured great suffering. If there's anything I can do to help, anything at all, just ask. Of course, my enemies, let's see. The wild roses are dead. Remember when we first joined the Scions, that it was their password was Wild Rose. So the wild roses are dead, Father, and I know not what to do. The wild roses? I see. You may speak freely here. We all are friends of the Scions. How could this have happened? And you're certain that Minfilia was among those taken by the Garleans? Let us pray no further harm comes to them. You may stay here as long as you wish. It's the least I can do for a friend of Minfilia's. I've known her since she was just a child. Well do I recall the day of our first meeting. I swore then to do everything in my power to support her, and I will gladly offer the self-same service to her brother and sisters of the Scions. So, please, no matter what you require, you need not hesitate to ask. Marcus, would you please come out here for a moment? Yes, Father? If you require assistance, pray speak with Marcus. He's a trifle shy, but I assure you he means well. I should explain. Marcus is a survivor of the Battle of the Cartno. Alas, his experiences took a terrible toll upon his mind. Had we not taken him into our care, he would surely have perished in the desert. Marcus, I want you to look after Roland. Do you understand? Yes, Father. All right, let's speak to Marcus. Excuse me, Roland, do you have a moment? It concerns this broken horologe, which was found in the pocket of a man brought here for burial. There is something familiar about it, but just what I cannot say. Perhaps if I tinker with the device, it will come to me. However, I lack the proper tools to do so. I would ask that you journey to Camp Drybone in my stead to obtain a bull-point chisel and a pair of needle-nose pincers. They are often used by goldsmiths, so perhaps they would be the best people to ask. Of course, I do not expect you to foot the bill. Here, take this coin purse. That should cover it. Alright, so evidently he doesn't know where the town's at. Or he can't get there for some reason. Where we're going, we don't need roads. Alright, let's see. I think Is this... Oh, there he is. Oh, and it happens to be a traveling goldsmith. A bullpoint chisel, you say? And a pair of needle-nose pincers? Those things don't come cheap, you know. Yeah, I know. That's why I have gold. Thowell's balls. I mean, yes, that should be sufficient payment. Nice doing business with you. Alright, well, evidently we overpaid for that. Kicking up some dust up here. Alright, here's your tools. Have I brought the tools? Of course I have. Something occurs to me. Please, wait here for just a moment. It was for naught. Though I repaired the device easily, this sensation that stirs within me remains a mystery. So he's trying to get his memories back, I guess. But how did I do it? These hands, my hands, they move with a mind of their own, deftly manipulating the clockwork mechanism. There was no doubt or uncertainty. I knew exactly what to do, as though I had performed the same motions countless times before. Pardon me, Roland? This was a mistake. Please give the instrument to Sister Elund. The man who once owned it is currently in her care, and I think it best that it is returned to him. Oh, hell, is he dead? Well, I don't think he needs it, whatever it is. Good day to you, sir. Have you come to pay your respects to this man? Well, not really. I understand this belonged to him. Never before have I seen such a queer device. You say that it measures the passing of time? Mayhap they are more common in Garlemald. I'm given to understand that its cities are filled with all manner of amazing technologies. Marcus said that it belonged to the deceased. Oh, dear. You don't suppose that the owner might have been a Garlean spy? It may behoove us to notify the authorities in Camp Drybone. But, mayhap more importantly, how did Marcus manage to repair this device? I knew he had a talent for the trades, but this goes far beyond mending fences and thatching roofs. Woohoo, we're level 40. Got a new spell. I recognize you now, Roland. Allow me to express my deepest condolence for those who lost their lives in the attack. I apologize if discussing this upsets you, but you should know that the bodies of your comrades are presently being removed from the Waking Sands and prepared for transport here. If you wish to leave this work to others, I understand. However, taking part might help you to find closure. Alright, there's a merchant evidently outside of Waking Sands. So, she wants us to go back and take care of it ourselves, and I guess that's what we're going to do. So, I'll see you when I get there. Eh? You don't look like one of them church fellas. Not that I'll turn you away, no sir. As you can see, we've got a pile of unidentified bodies over yonder. No one's come to claim them, so off to the lich yard they go. Be thankful you didn't have to go inside and see the carnage for yourself. 'Twas the stuff of nightmares, I tell ye. God's damned Imperials spit. I don't know what quarrel they had with these folks, and I sure as hells don't want to know. The sooner we put this behind us, the better. Say, ain't I seen you round here afore? Or do you just have one of them faces? Never mind. Any road, there's a carriage come to haul the bodies to the lich yard out by the east gate. There's only 8 left to load up, but seeing as I'm exhausted from carrying all the others, I've a mind to leave the remainder to you. Well, you're a big boy. Might wants to cover your nose while you work. Some of these folks are starting to turn. Yuck, yuck, yuck. They couldn't pick these up. Oh, never mind. I'll do it. I don't know where I'm putting all these guys. Here you go. Well, ain't you a strong one? 4 in one trip. Reckon there's no need for me to lend a hand with the rest. Yeah, fine. Whatever. I wonder if we knew any of these guys. We probably did. I know I knew the Sylph for sure. Alright, I got the last of them. Come on, come on. Let's finish this before I die of old age. What a nice guy. That should be all of them. Thanks for the help. Reckon it won't take too long to deliver all the corpses to the lich yard. Even so, you might want to hurry back and tell them that our work here is done. Alrighty. We're gonna head back. Alright, we made it back. Let's talk to Elund. I see that you decided to heed my advice. I pray that in doing so you found some small measure of peace. The first carriage from Vesper Bay arrived not long ago, and we have begun preparing your comrades for burial. I had a hand in the initial rites, and I would like you to know that for many, death came quickly. Rest assured that we will treat them with the utmost respect, and do everything we can to shepherd them to Thal's realm. Although we can perform rites for most of the scions, there's one whom we cannot accept. We would like you to return this one to her people, the Sylphs of Little Solus. It's only proper that she be given into the care of her friends and family, so that they may mourn her in accordance with the Sylphic rites. Alright, so we got to go back to Gridania. Let's see, I think... Did I? Did I have my... I do. Okay, my return is Gridania, so we can teleport there. Alright, so we gotta go... We gotta go take a little ferry ride here. Across that river. Wow. Nice mount. I don't have that one. A lot of the mounts come from dungeons, and it's a rare drop. So if you're in a dungeon with 4 other people or 8 other people, and one of them drops, only one person's going to get it. And they don't drop every time. It's like a 1 in 5 chance, I think, something like that. This one's surprised to see Walking One in Little Solus. How can these ones assist Walking One? Noraxia. But this one does not understand. Cumuxio. This one has heard much wailing. This one would know what has caused such distress. Terrible news, Elder One. Awful news. Walking One has returned to Little Solus. But why? These ones have not requested further aid. Noraxia, how did this happen? Explain everything at once. So, not only Noraxia, but many of Walking One's friends were lost as well. Noraxia went to Thanalin at the behest of this one. Walking One was with Noraxia at the end. Tell this one that Noraxia was brave. Tell this one that she did not suffer. This one is glad to hear Walking One's words. Thank you for bringing Noraxia home, Walking One. These ones also wish to thank Praying Ones. Tell Praying Ones that these ones will remember this kindness. This one demands vengeance. Imperial ones must pay. Imperial ones must suffer. When the time comes for Walking Ones to face Imperial ones, do not forget these ones. These ones would not have Noraxia's death be for naught. These ones will fight. Well, okay. Now got to turn around and go all the way back again. I'll see you when I get there. We thank you for the service to the church and the sylphs. You may be pleased to know that in your absence we interred the remaining scions in the Lich Yard. Perhaps you still wish to do more for your friends. If so, I would remind you that you have already done so much on their behalf. Please, take a rest and set aside your burdens for now. Alright, so what next? There must be a quest in here. I'm not imagining it, Roland. I know I'm being watched. This is different, sinister. It's as if I'm under observation. The feeling comes and goes, but I felt it when I last ventured outside. Yes, I know I felt it. Will you look outside for me, please? It'll only take a moment. We got more and more people coming into the game from World of Warcraft. You can tell it's just busier than heck. There was a waiting list when I came in this afternoon. Alright, so I'm supposed to be looking for somebody. Right, I might end up in a fight here, so I'm gonna pull up. And you know what? I don't know if it's only going to be one person. Let me pull up this guy. No fair, no fair. He's got a big sword and all I got's a book. But I had a carbuncle. Alright, let's go back up. So, I thought he was being paranoid, but evidently he wasn't. Now, you might think that having the chocobo out with me is kind of a nuisance, because he does get in the way, but the problem is, if you don't have him out and with you, he doesn't level up. And I want him to level. Whoa, excuse me. You were attacked, weren't you? Are you unharmed? Thank the gods. I knew it. He was watching me. But why was he watching me? What did he want with me? Did he perhaps know something of my past? If only I could have just asked him. I need to think. Please, allow me a moment alone. Wait, Father Iliad must hear of this. Will you tell him for me? It's important. I think others may come for me again. Alright, we'll talk to the Fada. Hey, Fada. Heavens forfend. That such a thing should happen on holy ground. Do you have any idea who this man was? Did you notice anything distinctive about his garb or his possessions? Well, he had this sword right here. It looks imperial. This is Garlean steel, which means the man who was watching Marquis was... Make haste to Camp Drybone at once. We must summon the immortal flames before more Imperials come. Well, okay. I can do that, I guess. Oh, who's this little popinjay? We've seen this guy before.
I fondly hoped that I might be the first to speak with you. Would that I had been so fortunate.
Okay. Are you talking to the priest? Are you talking to me? Or are you talking to Marcus?
At ease, adventurer. I come not on behalf of the Empire. On the contrary, I mean to revive the scions of the Seventh Dawn.
Well, I hate to tell you, but they're out there in the ground. If you're going to revive them, I don't want to be around.
And to that end, I have come in search of a legend. The greatest engineer of our time, Master Cid Garland. I have come for you.
Ah, so now we know who he is. Huh?
I fear you are mistaken, child. He is but a poor soul who bore witness to the horrors at Cartano. I beg of you, leave us in peace.
Wait,
Oh, he's having some kind of a fit. Somebody get a bottle.
Hear me, Cid. Eorzea needs you.
Okay. Looks like he already had a bottle. There's an empty one laying there. What, that's all it took? Where's the priest going? Oh, a toolbox. He could have used that.
Cid, was it? Here. These belong to you. I thought you bore the mark of greatness. It seems that I was right. Our time together was all too brief, but it felt as though my son had returned to me. You have brought joy to an old man's life.
I thought you were a priest. How come you had a son?
But it is time for you to help those who truly need you. Who are you?
Alphino Leveilleur, at your service. As a scion of the Seventh Dawn, I stand against our primal and imperial foes, as my grandfather once did. 'Tis no secret what befell our order at the Waking Sands. Word has already spread across Eorzea. The repercussions are far greater than you realize. In the wake of the calamity, the three city-states focused their efforts solely on reconstruction, leaving the scions to combat the primal threat unaided. And lo, we are all but destroyed. Yet even as the nations mourn our demise and abandon what little hope they have left, we cannot forsake our duty, now least of all. The Ixal have summoned Garuda once more, and she torments the people of Kurthus as we speak. Her appetite for destruction far exceeds that of other primals. Worse, in her present incarnation, our Baldessian colleagues believe she surpasses both Ifrit and Titan in strength.
Yeah, I don't think have we fought Titan already?
Yet, therein lies an opportunity. Were we somehow to defeat Garuda, it would serve as a warning to the other beast tribes that even their mightiest gods can be felled. If we are to face our foe, we must first circumvent the tempest that shields her sanctuary. And for that, we need an airship. Your airship, Cid.
I have an airship?
Yes, Cid, you do. Your very own airship.
Well, although it's been crashed.
It was last seen in the skies over Gridania, not long before the calamity. So let us begin our search there. An airship? My airship? Oh, wait. Come, let us put an end to the primals. Together, we will show the world that the Scions are still a force to be reckoned with. They need my airship. They need me.
Well, a little background here. When we started this series, there was a video that started it off. And in the video, it showed the calamity. And the sorcerer that hit the last blast on the dragon was this kid's grandfather. And so, and then if you remember, when we came to town, the very, very first episode, there were two twins, a boy and a girl, on the ship with us. And the boy was this kid, Alphanod. And his sister, who hasn't been back in the story yet, but she will. And so I did not know they were Scions until at this point here. What a curious twist of fate that Master Sid Garland would be at last found within our church. It defies imagination. Beg your pardon, Roland. You wish to find his airship, yes? I know not how much truth there is to it, but there's a tale known as the final flight of the Enterprise, which grew popular in the wake of the calamity, much like the great Gubu Wall of Ulda. It states that the Enterprise flew northwest from Gridania toward Corthius. If true, the airship would have passed through the North Shroud, likely over Fulground Float, the closest settlement to Corthius. Mayhap the Serpents stationed there have records of the events that transpired that day. I had hoped that you might rest from your journey for a time, but I see that the world still has need of you and the Scions. Pray, look after yourself and Sid, will you? All right, so we've got a direction to follow. We're headed to Fulground Float. So, let's see. Quickest way to get there, I suppose, is going to be through Gridania. And then, if we go out the White Wolf Gate, it's a short bike ride around the corner here, I think. Yeah, ever since the trouble with World of Warcraft, people have been coming over to this game in droves. And I used to sign on to the game and come right into the game. Now, every single time I log in, there's a queue, a waiting list before you get in the game. Now, it doesn't take long to get in. It's just a minute or 30 seconds, 40 seconds, a minute, no longer than a minute, 2 minutes to get in the game. But they've had to make some changes in that this game, for all the years I've played it, you've never had to log out of the game. You could stay logged in as long as you wanted. And how did it get out of here? This way. Wait a minute. So they just changed it. So now that if you If you stay away from keyboard for a period of time, it'll log you out of the game. It's never done that before, but they've had to do that because there's so many people trying to get in the game. Is there aught I can assist you with, sir? The Enterprise? Oh, you speak of Master Garland's ship. I needn't refer to the records. I know that the airship was sighted overhead 5 years ago, clearly bound for Corthius. What became of it after that, I cannot say. If you wish to know more, pray speak with Volthart at Florence Spire. He was on duty that day and saw it with his own eyes. I'm unsure of what it is that you hope to accomplish, though. Even should you locate the ship, would you not need a man of Master Garland's caliber to fly it? I hear tell that the machinery is friendlessly complex. Yeah, well, it just so happens we know where we can find somebody that can pilot it. Uh-oh, I took a wrong turn at Albuquerque. I gotta go this way. Mr. Serpent Commander, sir. You've come in search of Vortfart. Is it Vortfart? Then well met, for you have found him. Indeed, I have served as the whaler for many years, since before the great snows came to Corthius. What exactly is this about? Ah, the final flight of the Enterprise. I do indeed remember that day. 'Twas on the eve of the Battle of Chardonnay, nigh on 5 years ago. I held the spire alone that night, while the bulk of our forces marched to meet the enemy in the field. Then, all of a sudden, the most fantastic airship I've ever seen splits the sky overhead. I could only watch in shock as it disappeared over the mountains to the northwest. If the Enterprise wasn't destroyed during the calamity, I'd wager it's still somewhere in Corthius. The astrologians at the observations may have records which could help, but to obtain them, you'd need to deal with the Ishgardians who control the region. I wouldn't expect much, though. The high houses have long been concerned with their own affairs above all else. That Dalamud descendant, they took shelter behind their gates, and even now they have little regard for the plights of other nations. Nevertheless, they may deign to assist you, should you prove yourself useful. Consider providing your services to the soldiers who guard the observatorium. Though they may refuse you at first, I've little doubt that they would accept aid freely offered. Alrighty, well, I guess we're heading to Corthius. Now, after the calamity, Corthius was with a fourth nation. There was Olda, Gridania, and Limsa, and then there was the Ishgardians. And when the calamity happened, they cut themselves off. They closed their borders, and they've had nothing else to do with the other three nations. So that's where we have to go, and I think we're going to do that in the next episode. Hope to see you there. Until then, have fun.